So well, participant friends, today's class is on the scope of environmental education. And we have done one class in this area, and this slide is, or the contents of this slide is a little bit repetition so that you can maintain link with the class which we did earlier. And once we say as scope of environmental education, basically the term scope very simply means about the extent of the area or subject matter that something deals with or to which it is relevant. Means once we say as the scope of environmental education, or by saying as the scope of environmental education, we mean about the extent of the area of environmental education or the contents that environmental education deals with. As this class was, or the contents have the similarity with the earlier class, so we are to go to the next slide. We discussed this point, size and growth of human population. Means environmental education is closely associated with the concerns of the size and growth of human population. And this is one of the most important area of discussion for understanding the scope of environmental education. Let us go back to the next slide. In the next point we are to see which is being included in the next slide, because this is, you have seen here, and this was also discussed in the earlier class. Size and growth of human population, what has happened here, you have seen. And there is a heavy pressure because of the QC, extensive size or the volume of growth of human population. Let us go back to the next slide. This point was also discussed in earlier class. Pollution is another most important area of importance for understanding environmental education and for the realization of the extent of operation of environmental science or environmental education. Let us see the next slide. Human health and quality of life. Friends, this is the point number 3, and today's class is actually started from this point. Human health and quality of life is another most important area with which environmental education has close association. Under the effect of environment upon human health and the quality of life is very important. Means the impact of the increased number of population is very serious, and at the same time the impact of environment upon human health and quality of life, means on lifestyle or lifestyles, is or are very important. Environment affects directly upon both human health and the quality of life, on the determination of man's psychophysical capacities and specialities, the hereditary factors as well as the environmental components like water supply, urban quality of life, climate, and the human communications have their influences. Friends, these are the most important factors with which the quality of life has close association. water supply is very much important, and you are coming to know that we have the world or the global social order has encountered two great wars. World War number 1, World War number 2. And experts are of the opinion that there is every possibility of World War 3 on the issue of water supply, which has special significance for the maintenance of quality of life. Urban quality of life is another very important, area of consideration for understanding the scope of environmental education. Climate is another important element or segment for understanding the scope of environmental education and human communications. This is another very much important or significant, aspects for understanding or for the realization of the impacts of various factors on quality of life. Human health, friends, the concern of which has very much rapidly been increasing since the last part of 2019 because of COVID-19 till date. Human health depends upon human communication, and human communication is, once you are to understand the impact of COVID-19 or the spread of COVID-19, you will come to know that it is spreaded only with human communication. Transaction of human individuals from one place to another. So human communication is very much important in the process of maintenance of health. Various diseases spread through human communication. The infectious diseases spread from one to another through these. And what are those diseases? Let us see. Let us go back to the next slide. The dangerous diseases of modern time like AIDS, malaria, diarrhea, asthma, tuberculosis, and whooping cough, and the most powerful unseen enemy of the 21st century for the whole global community, that is the COVID-19, spread from China to the other parts of the globe, etc., spread through human communication. So friends, whatever devastation we have witnessed since the last part of 2019 till date, because of the spread of COVID-19, only with the help of or by the means of human communication and its impact on the total environment, maybe the environment of nature, social environment, economic environment, cultural environment, educational environment, etc., we have understood and we have practically realized much well. Let us go back to the next slide. This was well realized in China during the spread of anthrax and COVID-19 diseases. Besides malnutrition, child death, birth of handicapped children, etc., are dependent on environment. Environmental education highlights on all these aspects. And friends, for understanding the issue of man's existence in this complex global situation, in the complex natural situation, we are to understand all the parameters with which there is the close connectivity of human continuity or the process of continuity of human life. And that's why by discussing all the specific points which do have link with the scope of environmental education, we can understand holistically or in totality about the significance of environmental education. And up till this point or up till this slide number 8, we have discussed some of the specific points which do have link with the scope of environmental education, and we are to continue our discussion because there are so many other points which have special connectivity with the scope of environmental education. And for today, I must have to say thank you very much. Thank you all. You study the contents of this slide so much well. And next time, whenever the next class will come, you please keep connectivity with this class and the first class which I did earlier. Thank you so much.